Okay, I can go.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
And I'm hoping my computer would not go off because it has an issue. So if it does, just know that it's my computer that's just gone off. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, here we can.
Okay, cool. So about my project, I chose Philippines as a country. First, I brought in the data, the whole data from Kiva, subset it, and so subset Philippines. And then I had to check the data to see if there's any null values or duplicated, blah blah blah. Had to work with the borrower's gender because we had some mix in one, like borrower's gender had female and male in the same cell, some of them. So I had to clean that. And then once I was done with cleaning the data, I went ahead and answered the questions. So the first question was, what country got the most loans? Like everyone has said, it was the Philippines that got the most loans in terms of numbers. And then does the number of times times a country is referred relate to the quantity of loans it got? Yeah, I'll answer that later. So for this, I decided to do a word cloud. And with the word cloud, you could see Philippines is appearing, and Kenya and Pakistan, most of the countries are up here. And then I did this to answer the second question. I went ahead and I subset. I compounded the loan amount, and this is what I got. So the Philippines, Kenya still appeared up here as well, but then some of the countries like the US was not appearing here. So this question, does the number of times a country is referenced relate to the quantity of loans you got? The answer is no. And then the second question was, what sector got the most loans? Does the number of times the sector is referenced relate to the quantity of loans? So I did the same thing. I did a value count with the sectors, and I found out agriculture was the highest sector that got the highest number of loans. And then when it comes to loan amount, agriculture still was the highest. And then does the number of times reference? For me, I found out the answer was yes. There's a relationship between the number of loans and the amount received, because you can see most of the sectors that appear here also appear on this table. And then I subset, and then I did the same for Philippines to look at the sectors which had the highest loan amount, and I could see was the answer was retail. And then per sector, still retail had the so this is the number of loans, and this is the loan amount. And you could see, I could see retail still had the highest loan amounts in the Philippines. And then the answer was yes, there's a relationship between the two number of loans and the amount received. And then I went ahead and plotted a bar plot using Seaborn, and this is what I got. And then I also did the same bar plot because it didn't look very attractive. I did the same with Plotly, and this is what I got, which I think it looks more presentable. And then for the third question, it was the top sector. What activity had the highest loans, and what does that say about the activity? I subsetted the Philippines. So for the Philippines, it was the retail. And what does that say? I believe, retail activity. So the answer is general store, sorry. So yeah, so since this sector, retail had the highest number of loans, I had to see what activity under the sector had the highest loan amount, and that was general store. And the answer was the Philippines are dependent on loans for even basic needs like general store. When I Google general store, is basically anything you can get, household items and fashion items, everything you can get there. So yeah, so they're basically in need of loans even for basic needs. And then I plotted a bar plot using Plotly, and this is how it looks. And then the fourth question was, which region had the highest loan amount? For the region, it was Nara Palawan, and you can see the loan amount it had. And then the loan themes, CFZ, okay, I don't know what I was doing here, but anyways, yeah, so the answer was Palawan. Nara Palawan had the highest, that's the region that had the highest loan amount. And then for the fifth question, what were the differences in distribution between time? Just like Gishari, I'm not sure about this. I might have to consult the others. Number 5 and 6. I did this, but then I don't think this is correct. So what I did was brought the region together and then the time posted, dispersed, and repayment interval. This is what I got. So the answer is the time difference is about a month. So I just had to look at, the difference between, for instance, here, the posted time was was in February, and then disbursed was around in March. So it's about a month or so. And then the repayment interval is monthly, but I don't think this was right. I'll have to consult on that one. And then the same thing with this as well. What does the repayment interval look like in various loan amounts, in various sectors, in various activities? So I brought the sectors together, activity, repayment, and the loan amount, and you could see they're all irregular. It was surprising to find out that actually Filipinos, I think most of them don't pay. So the higher the loan amount, the more likely the payment will be irregular. And you can see here, the lower the loan amount, the more likely the payment will be in bullet form. And then what is a general repayment habit? Like you've seen here, it's irregular. So the higher the amount, the more likely it's going to be regular. For this one, I used a violin plot. So you see from bullet, monthly, and irregular. So most of the borrowers are concentrated here. So most of them are irregular payers. And then I also decided to compare with Kenya just out of curiosity. And you can see with Kenya, at least most of us, like people lie around here, the monthly level. And then the eighth question was, what were the numbers between the male and female recipients? Does that communicate anything? So I brought the borrower's gender together and the ID, and I did that count. And you could see we have way more female than male in the Philippines that borrow money. So the answer was at least 95% of the borrowers in the Philippines are women. And then I went ahead and did a pie chart, and you could see, yeah, basically 95%. It's almost 100% of the borrowers are women. And then what sector in Kenya got the highest loans? That's the ninth question. And like everyone else, it's agriculture that had the highest loan, and then loans. And then I did a bar plot for this one. And this is how it looks like. I wanted this one to come here, like the highest to come on top, but I don't know. I tried different tricks, but I wasn't able to. And then when I did with Plotly, it was able to do it. Like, so I don't know, I think there's a code here that I need to put for it to be inverted.
Yeah, there's a code for that.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you'll tell me later, thanks.
Okay.
And then the last question is, what region in Kenya got the highest loan? Yeah, for me, I got it was Webuye with that loan amount. And then I did this. I did I did a bar from Plotly. And so this was the first part. I didn't know about the second part until yesterday. So I had to pull an all-nighter to do the visualization questions. So they're quite rushed, but I'm going to rush through them also. So yes, this is it. So I did the same. I decided to do the Philippines. I got the data, blah, blah, blah. And then the top 10 users in the top 10 loan users in the data, I brought the use and the value counts, and then the top 10 for the Philippines is basically to build a sanitary toilet for her family. So with this two, it's the same reason, but then because this one has a full stop, they're counted as different. I don't know how to remove this full stop because I'd wanted to combine them. So Ernest, maybe also you'll show me this later. And then these are all the reasons why. And then I did an SNS plot, bar plot, C1 bar plot. And then next was the most dominant field. I brought the partners and value count. You could see the index, the partner ID is this. These are the most dominant field partners. And then dominant field partners by, okay, yeah. And then I also tried again because I wasn't sure if this was correct. So I did group by also, I brought the partners and lender count, and I still got the same answer. So I concluded that this must be the right answer. And then after that, I drew this bar plot from Seaborn. Then the third question was the partner names and their total loan amount. So yeah, I brought the partners together. The field partner and amounts together, and you could see this Negro Women for Tomorrow Foundation was a field partner that had the highest loan amount. And I think that also explains why we have more women that borrow in the Philippines. And this is what I got when I visualized it. And then for partners' names and their total funded amount for Philippines. So this one, I think this is where I had to merge. But before I did that, I had to try and find out if there's any null data in the Philippines in sector. Let me see. Yes, so before I merged, I had to make sure that there was nothing, because I wanted to merge with sector. So I had to make sure that sector, like, none had null in it, both in the Philippines and also the field name, the field partner name. So once I made sure that there was no duplicate and there was no null values, I went ahead and merged. And this is how I merged it. So I did group by field partner and funded amount. Wait, I feel like this is wrong. Yeah, so this is what I did, but I think now I know why. Oh, actually, yeah, this is the code. So the merge was pd.merge Philippines and Philippine partners. So these are the partners that, this is the field names, I think, that the other document that I got that I merged with the Philippines, and I merged it on sector. So upon merging it on sector, I got this as the only field partner with the funded amount, but I don't think it's correct, because I did it another way and I still got a different answer. So I don't know where it went wrong also with this one, with the merging. And then the partner names and the total number of loans. So I just used one document here. So the field partner, I brought the field partner name together and the amount, and this is what I got. And this is how I plotted it. And then top reasons for giving a loan. I tried to look for top reasons, but I could not get. What I could get was the uses of the loan. So I don't know where the reasons column was, because what I could only get was users. So I did not answer that one. And then top regions by loan amount, this is how I brought just the regions together and the loan amount. And then with this one, I did a pie chart, and this is how it looks. So you can see, like I said before, Nara had the highest loan amounts. And then the correlation of numerical values, I brought the numerical values together. And once I did that, I plotted the heat map. And you can see, so the one with number one has like the highest correlation, or with the ones that are positive, they have the most highly correlated. And then the distribution of loan amount, I used a histogram. This is how I got. So the first row I used was borrower's gender. And you can see this is what I got for female and male. I know there's something I should do with the range, but I tried different ranges, but I wasn't getting the right one. So also, Anis, you'll have to show me which is the right range to use. But I know the chart histogram is okay, but just the range is off. So I don't know. I need to decide. I tried to zoom also, but it wasn't working. And then for the distribution of funded amount, I did a histogram, and this is how it is. I use a color as borrower's gender. And then the distribution of repayment, I use a histogram, and mostly, like I said before, Filipinos are irregular pairs, loan pairs. And then the lender count against the funded, explain the obtained results. So this one, I got the borrower's gender, the lender account, and then for, you could say female, the lender count is this, and then the funded amount for male, is that. And then for female is double. Like I said before, the female they borrow more, and that also confirms it. And then with this one, I use the scatter plot. You could see the female circle is bigger, most of them. And then the distribution of funded amount by region. So I brought the regions together and the funded amount. And Nara, I think I already said this. I already shared this before, so I'll skip that. And then the funded amount with sector as the hue. Yeah, I did not choose the hue here, but so this is the sectors that have the highest amount. And I used a scatter plot, and I used color. So I didn't choose the hue in this part. So I don't think I answered the question correctly, but anyways, I'll do it again. And then a box. Sorry?
So yeah, your time is up.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just you can just send me the notebooks on my email. I'll be able to look at them much deeper. So I can be able to reply or to send you the solutions to where you got stuck later on.
Okay, but for me, Ernest, I'd prefer, can we please have a one-on-one so I can just explain and you can tell me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll arrange for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a nice presentation.
Thanks.